Hi, uh, hello. I'm Mingles Tsoi. I'm very honored to speak in the StartmeupHK Festival, and today is for Asia PropTech Beyond 2022. My name is Mingles Tsoi. I'm very glad to share some of our experience in UrbanTech, and also how we pursue leveraging on the ESG and SDG impact initiative to promote the UrbanTech program, and also how we also try to use the SDG KPI for our investment selection. So let me share our screen. Yes. Okay. So ParticleX is an angel investment fund backed by Family Foundation since 2017. Before I joined the ParticleX, I've been working in different organizations since graduate since 1988, and I've been working in property developers agency and government trading, and but the last 20 years in the staff consulting business, and also I work for the Chinese University of Hong Kong in the Center for Entrepreneurship, promoting social entrepreneurship and organizing the Hong Kong Social Enterprise Challenge for 8 years. And also we got Google Empowering Young Entrepreneur Program to be sponsoring the university and be on promoting young entrepreneurship in 2013 to 2014. And with this achievement, then I was headhunted to KPMG as a director for Startup Innovation Service for 2 years. And our passion, I think, in the last 5 years when I joined ParticleX, we have a very strong dedication in supporting startups from all over the world, but especially we hope to support the Hong Kong startups for their growth and scaling up process by having appropriate funding through our leadership and co-investment partnership, so that other co-investor will be also interested in investing in Hong Kong startups. So I also volunteer in different organizations from social impact assessment to Lions Club, and then also with fintech professionals and global career development facilitating professional settings. So for your information, before I go into the UrbanTech focus, I think what you need to know is about ESG and the SDG. Just a very big picture of what we can name as ESG is environmental, social, and governance. I think most of the people, they understand the keywords. But in fact, when we are investigating more deeper into the components inside the ESG, we found that it is possible to integrate the Sustainable Development Goals into the ESG domains, so that we have a more precise and clear understanding of what should we do and what should we can quantify and attribute to the original input and activities that we can bring the outcome and impact to the world. So UrbanTech seems to be a very wide scope of coverage that including our living environment, from housing, food, mobility, utilities, energy, consumption, even fashion, culture, and education, and of course, including the waste management. So as a result, we can quite certain that if you try to map each of the SDG into the ESG components, I think you can definitely do that, especially for the UrbanTech coverage. So let me give you a history of ESG and SDG, because this is also very fundamental for most of the public audience about why we should care about ESG and SDGs. For 1980s, when there is a energy crisis, but it's not an energy crisis, it's a climate crisis of a tanker being leaked, oil leak in the Atlantic Oceans, and we call it as a Waldell's Vanguard tanker break. And this is happening with a very big and strong awareness and alarm to the general public, because even a big petroleum companies, they will also have accidents. And with the accident, they will create a negative impact to the climate, especially the pollution to the ocean, and destroy the ecosystem of most of the marine animals surrounding the area. So after that climate crisis, then people will focus more on E, environmental. But at the same time, when we look at the social issue, then why people become very aware of the social impact, I think we can say that since most of the religious organizations, you may come back since maybe hundreds of years ago, that they also taking care of the slavery problems. They also taking care of how to create a fairness of labor during that time. And what we can see in the recent, say, 50 years, you may recall the South African, the policy of isolating the black from the some of the region in South Africa. This is also causing a lot of discussion around the world for basic human rights and also equality of a human being, of freedom of entering places, and also freedom of speech. So with this background, people are more aware of the social issues. And for the governance, I think we can see a lot of say negative scam of say a poor governance of listed company all over the world, with very strong impact on the financial crisis. So I will not name each of them, but I think people can easily identify governance is a very important issues that as a corporation operating their activities, whatever is a B2B or B2C operation, they also need to comply with regulation and also be ethical in running their operation and activities. So that's why in 1997, the GRI, which is empowering a sustainable decision, the Global Reporting Institute, they try to initiative, they try to impose some ideas and guidelines for how to make sustainable reporting. And in 2005, we also have the United Nations to pull out everything into a more structured framework called ESG. So it's a history of, say, more than 20 years and nearly 30 years of development of ESG, from something that happening, incidents of the environmental or social or governance issues, and then United Nations trying to become a leader in persuading the global investment institution, global investor, bankers, to come together and then help, asking them to do a favor on investing in responsible organization or companies. So the driving force is on the investment side. That that's what the UN is doing in 2005. And but after a few years, it seems people are quite, even organization executive, they are quite difficult to understand and to pursue the ESG initiative and commitment, because there's a lack of understanding on which area should environmental cover, and also how deep can an organization to be participating in the social issues, because they also need to take care of the financial return and performance. So people are really especially the business operational manager, they eager and look for a more precise indicator. So that's why after 10 years in 2015, the UN published another guidelines with more detailed and precise indicators called Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. So that's the circle with colors, 17 colors outlining what they need to understand and also the indicator. So come back to here is you have a bigger picture of SDG number 1, no poverty, zero hunger, and then good health and well-being and quality education, etc., etc. So with these indicator, there are more details in the United Nations official website, especially under the undp.org. Interested people, you can take a look of that. And for or also for your future research and further learning about what should be what should be done and what should not be done. And there's also an Excel table that being updated periodically about each of the SDG goals on what parameters an organization should be aware of. So for example, no poverty, the checklist will ask you how many people will you help to avoid poverty. You will need to have a very clear and solid figures and quantify your impact throughout your operation. So actually, UN has some guidelines, but it's all the challenge is not easy to map everything to the operation. So we also find this is a challenge. So as an investor and also passionate social entrepreneur myself, so we try to create something to bridge the understanding and awareness between the big companies and startup innovation. First of all, because technology innovation may be a very good key to solve some social problem. There's a hypothesis, but it's also a realistic evidence that we can rely on some technology, not all, to improve health, improve the governance, and improve the productivity of something in our living environment and the smart city factors. So we uncover the UrbanTech with four up to 6 impact domain that you can see on the screen. So the first one is about, of course, about living, because living is most important. So real estate and built environment is number 1, or we call it a 01 impact domain. And second is the food supply and public health and safety. Third one is infrastructure, energy, and utility. And the fourth one is transportation and mobility. So in Chinese, we have yi sik ju han. So it's covering at least the basic needs and the basic supply and the basic factors of providing safety and a living condition for human being. But of course, we also need to take care as urban city resident, take care of cleaning, waste management, and also we have special terms for this type of recycling business called circular economy. That in Hong Kong or all over the world, we have someone specializing in doing that. So, and this is also totally aligned with the sustainable development on environmental factors. And lastly, a city must have their own culture and lifestyle, and also the education. We should never ignore them. So our team also add lifestyle, culture, and education as the 6 very important factors that the UrbanTech impact demographic mapping. So for more details, you can take a look of our website. We have details and also some coverage on the news article about that. And our company, our fund, beyond just investing in technology startups. So far, we have invested in 40 companies all over the world, with nearly half from Hong Kong and half from other side of the world. And since 2020, when the outbreak of COVID-19 just happening, we understand that most of the big companies and even our target startup portfolios and even potential staff, they are also suffering with economic downturn and also less consumption, less interaction of business activities. So we try to think about how we as an investor can help. And so I and my team, we create the ParticleX PropTech Global Challenge, which we started since October in 2020, just in the first year of COVID-19. And we successfully roll out a model of how to match startup solution with some of our confirmed property developers and PropTech players in Hong Kong. And with the support of the government in West Hong Kong through the StartmeupHK program, and also with the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park and HKAI Lab, and also other supporting organizations like universities and also Angel Investment Club from Hong Kong Business Angel Network. So we have all these stakeholders together with a very primary focus on understanding which tech solution can contribute to the PropTech domain, and then we will help them to connect with the appropriate property PropTech user, or we call it as a corporate adoption for innovation and for pilot testing. So throughout this process, since 2020 in the Q3 and 4, we have been starting for 5 times, and these 5 cohorts, totally we have more than 200 companies in our database, and some of them has been working very fine and performing on successfully get our attention and being invested by us or invested by someone else. But the most important is their profile and business solution has been successfully delivered to the right person and right organization or companies for further exploration on how to use them, and also engage them as a partner or a service provider. So our program has done some of the proven track record and milestone on bridging all those supply and demand for the technology solution for the social good. So now after 5 cohorts, we collect enough data, and then we have specialized a standard format of data collection, so that we have a very good starting point to do analysis and also to do database and collection. And sooner or later, you will find a sharing on the data in our official website for how those companies are and where they are and how their solution can help. And this is the agile matching process that we decide that for the startup, when they come into our pipeline, what they need to do is just to submit their business plan or business proposal, but we also need their write-up on answering our very detailed and comprehensive questioning checklist on their profile, and on how they can uncover the SDG and also the secret source on how to resolve some problem for the company, for the PropTech pain points. So in the past, after fulfilling that checklist, they will be screened by our specialized team together with our strategic partners, and then we'll invite some of them, about 10 to 15 each cohort, for an interview, 1 hour, and then we will have them to the best 4 of them to go into the investment committee meeting. Now, this is the first generation of the process that we find it very useful, and also we don't make any trouble or creating a lot of time-consuming tasks to our candidates. But once they submit that, I think they have an opportunity to either go into a incubation track if they are in the appropriate stage of being selected by Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, or they may be maybe big enough to directly engage with the property developers on solution procurement and quotation, or if they are in the very right size of say PA, under PA from Angel round to PA round, and this is our scope of investments target, then we'll be very selective and see whether they can be invested by us. So of course, all our investment will be validated by the appropriate strategic partner when they also have a very keen comments and advice to the startups candidate about will they really adopt that solution and how they will want to help and coach the startup. So this is one step of application together with at least three of the outcomes that the startup can enjoy and leverage on that. So I'm very proud of creating with our team on creating this type of a lean process on how to engage candidates all over the world. Here you can see we have 234 applications and 72% founder, after 2018 within 5 years, and also they are early stage, majority of them, and you can see they are all over the world, from Europe, Americas, of course Asia and the rest of the world are dominating. But in the same perspective, we try to look for whether they are a cost reduction or a customer engagement or a create ESG impact, and they are overlapping response that most of them can achieve both cost reduction and increasing customer attention and engagement, and also can create ESG impact. So this is a very exciting and encouraging result that we are looking for to expand the scope of PropTech to another level. So in the past few cohort and batches, we have named a few. But these table outline the final 4 candidates that we have been discovered throughout the program. And they are all outstanding, very prominent startups that you can take a look of them. So last but not the least, I think you can stay tuned with our upcoming UrbanTech initiative, because in the past, this is the background of the past, but in fact, we are now finalizing the stakeholder and strategic partners on our list, and we're very happy to have a very good, outstanding, reputable public and semi-government companies joining us this year. So you can see a very big support from our stakeholders, whatever in transportation, in real estate, in food supply, health, public health, and also in energy and circular economy. All of these domain, you can find a partners that you can pitch to them. So without any hesitation, I hope that you can also join us later in this very exciting moment to join the ecosystem. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope we can see any one of you either in the future in person. Thank you.